If you're watching this right now, chances are you're not here for hype. Late in the day, people don't look for noise, they look for clarity, and that's exactly why this moment matters for XRP. For a long time, XRP has been one of the most misunderstood assets in the crypto market, not because of technology, but because of uncertainty. Uncertainty around regulation, around the SEC, and around how the United States would ultimately treat assets like this. That uncertainty shaped everything. It shaped price action, public perception, and most importantly, institutional behavior. But markets evolve, and quietly, the regulatory conversation in the US has been evolving too. What's different now is not a headline or a rumor, it's the tone. Instead of constant enforcement language, we're seeing more discussion around structure, clarity, and long-term frameworks. That may not sound exciting, but in financial markets, it's powerful. XRP sits in a very specific position. It was built for fast settlement, low costs, and cross-border efficiency, areas that traditionally financial systems have struggled with for decades. When regulation begins to focus on utility instead of speculation, assets with real use cases naturally come back into the conversation. This doesn't mean instant outcomes, there are no guarantees here, but it does change how risk is evaluated. Large financial players don't react to emotions, they react to reduced uncertainty. They wait for signals that the rules of the game are becoming clearer, and historically, when regulation becomes clearer, participation follows. That's why XRP continues to appear in regulatory discussions, not because of social media trends, but because it aligns with problems regulators are actively trying to solve. Another important point many people overlook is patience. Markets often move before clarity becomes obvious to the public. By the time something feels safe, most of the positioning has already happened. That doesn't mean rushing into decisions. It means paying attention. Price will always fluctuate in the short term. That's normal, but narratives, especially regulatory ones, take time to build, and they tend to have longer lasting effects. XRP's role in global payment conversations, combined with a changing regulatory tone in the US, is why it keeps resurfacing when policy is discussed. Relevance comes before results. And this is where many investors get it wrong. They focus only on numbers, charts, and predictions, while ignoring the environment those numbers exist in. Understanding the environment doesn't remove risk, but it helps you make calmer, more informed decisions. So instead of asking what will happen tomorrow, it may be more useful to ask why XRP is still part of the conversation at all. Because in markets, staying part of the conversation often matters more than being loud. If this perspective helped you see things more clearly, support the video so more people can find it. And if you value level-headed crypto discussions focused on the US market, make sure you're subscribed.